Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's doing great on this Monday. I hope you've been doing well. I've been doing well. Um, just relaxing and spending my days doing really well. Something happened over the weekend. I want to talk about a little bit and just talk about it. And I've also made a couple of other decisions. I'm still going to have this blog. My blog is not going anywhere, but I've decided that I think I'm going to take some more time off of the internet social media thing. Um, what I'm seeing and what I keep seeing and keeps coming up is sort of partially disturbing to me. There's lots of good things about the social media, but there's other things that I really find I don't like and don't really add to my life. And I think I could stay away from those and give myself some good time to sort of relax and rejuvenate. And I'm still going to do the article about the 30-day fixing yourself challenge. The end of that is coming up really soon. I hope everybody that's doing that is still really enjoying themselves. I certainly am. And I'll still talk about stuff from time to time. And like I say, it won't be as frequently during this time. But I want to take August off. And then I decided, well, I need to take September off too, because September is the month of my anniversary, my wedding anniversary. And I just don't want to be on the stress and strain and sort of attachment and freak out that I sometimes feel dealing in anything regarding social media. Um, it's too bad. But that's just for me. And for me, the best way to handle stuff is to stop doing it and just, maybe come back at a later date and stuff. And then again, like I said, if I'm off 3 months, hey, if I can do it 3 months, I can do it three more. I may not come back at all, and stuff in any sort of significant way. My blogs and vlogs and all that stuff and Instagram pictures will probably still be up there and stuff in different places, but it just won't be much of me making comments and hearing stuff. So over the weekend, what happened on Saturday evening was the verdict came in for the George Zimmerman trial in the death of Trayvon Martin. And it was a not guilty verdict, which, you know, I think as shocked as people were, I think they weren't that shocked. You're shocked, but you're not shocked and stuff. Because, it was, I can't say that I was shocked. Um, because, it's just how it is sometimes, how it works sometimes. But then there was a weird reaction from some folks and some black women that I follow and that were following me. And at first when I got on there, most people were like, "Wow, this is really sad. This is really tragic," and stuff. And it's most people of like mind saying how tragic and what an injustice it was. Man didn't even get manslaughter. Okay, I mean, you get manslaughter for hitting person accidentally with a vehicle. You get manslaughter, and stuff. But he didn't even get manslaughter. So how tragic that was. And then there was these pops up of stuff that just disturbed my psyche on a personal level. And I love black women. I do. And I think we're really awesome. And I think many of us have, we're doing great things and have really great potential to do great things. But I think some of us are just still in the need of some couch time, of some therapy. I mean, really deep, deep therapy and stuff. Because some of the reactions were callous, and that's being nice. Some were just devoid of human compassion at all. And these were women that are supposedly part of black women's empowerment and all this stuff. And like I say, I've never claimed no nothing. I've never claimed this blog to be nothing. I've never claimed nothing. I don't like clubs. I've told people I don't like clubs. I don't like joining. I don't like doing that stuff because the thing about clubs or groups or organizations is, at some point what happens is you have to go along to get along. I don't go along to get along. I'm never going to go along to get along person. You have to go along to get along. You can't say anything. You can't question anything. If you question stuff, you get jumped on, or people tell you how wrong you are and all this stuff. People start jumping on you and everything. You can't critically think anymore. You have to shut off your critical thinking at the door, and stuff, to be a part of a group, because we're all supposed to be on the same thing. So, you can't say anything. And then if you say something, then you're called names, then you're called names, and people start saying that, all of a sudden start accusing you of being against black women and all this stuff, so you get attacked, and stuff. And it's much like any other clique or club or mob or whatever, and stuff. And so that's why I don't join up with stuff. But these are women that supposedly are part of black women's empowerment, okay, and stuff. And I don't know if they are, or I don't know if people have some organization where you sign up. I don't know. But the claim is. And so the thought was that they started to really go after sort of black men, period. They just, started being, and I say it all the time. I wonder why people talk about people that they don't want anything to do with, that they don't, why still constantly talk about them? Why still, because this is not something about black men or black women, blah, blah. This is, the thing was for me was, this is somebody's family they've lost their kid in a really tragic way, to a man that was probably a sociopath. And because the kid just happened to be black and stuff, and to a man that was an overzealous, sociopath and stuff. And now he's getting away with murder. So now parents are grieving. And, there's kind of an appropriate time for you to do stuff and for you to say stuff. For any of you that, know that I'm talking to you, maybe, there is an appropriate time to do and say things. That Saturday night on Twitter, when many people were very upset and grieving about that situation, just that situation, not every situation, just that situation, was not the time. And then, people were saying, just, then people started talking about something about OJ and R. Kelly, and I'm thinking, what does that have to do with anything? This is an individual event that has nothing to do with this. What OJ did, what R. Kelly did, what happened has nothing to do with what happened in that courtroom in Florida. Okay. I guess they were saying, well, they got away with stuff. So, and I'm just thinking, what? I still didn't get hide. But, people will do that sort of stuff to make themselves sound right. Okay. Because that's like comparing apples and pears. And stuff. So, so the thing is, so they started, and then some folks were saying, well, if they don't, if they don't value black women, like, and stuff. And I once again, listen, the black women, black men thing sort of wasn't even relevant at that time. Somebody was just trying to maybe feel bad for somebody's mom, and another Twitter person and I were talking back and forth about it. And she said something that I thought was really true, is that in whatever this movement is that folks are doing, which personally I think has turned sort of wacko, whatever people are doing in this movement, or supposedly doing in this movement, if you cannot come up with a shred of human compassion for a black mother who's lost their child there's really nothing I would want to do with anything like that. You know, I mean, because my whole thought is, listen, the folks who said that are people who are devoid of any human decency and compassion. I called you out. If you don't have compassion for yourself, you're incapable of having compassion for another human being. If you don't have any self-compassion, that's the reason you're devoid of compassion. If you don't have any self-compassion, then you don't have any compassion for anybody else. So then how could you have compassion for me as a person? If I'm supposed to be joining in this group, how could you have any compassion for me as a person? I'm gonna I'm gonna say this. This is part of the Bible, and everyone knows I'm a believer and I'm a Christian. And part of one of the best scriptures I know is, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy." I feel sorry for anybody who has no capability to be merciful, because at some point we all need mercy. We all need mercy. And I feel sorry and have seen folks over and over again say stuff and say stuff and say stuff with their merciless selves. And my hope is that you someday don't need mercy, because you won't be receiving it. See, what kind of got me was that somehow these women who have decided to date and marry white men, if that's what they're doing, have somehow forgot that if you have a child, and some of them actually in this group, I think, had boy children and stuff. If you have a child, that child is still half black, because you're black. I'm not exempt from racism because my husband is white. I don't get any exemption. And that child is half black. So you'd have a half black son, half black daughter. Because I'm telling people, you need to watch out for your daughters, you know, and stuff. You need to watch out for your daughters. If you're living in this country, you need to watch out for your sons and your daughters. Okay? They're all at risk. Young black youth, they're at risk. Um, if you live in a stand your ground state, you need to know what stand your ground is and how it works. Okay? You need to know what the law is where you live. You need to know what the civil law is, what your local laws are, what the federal laws all are. Because if you don't trust and believe, the law will crush you. And I know this from working 10 years in the legal system. It'll crush you. And so it's important for you to know how the law works. And nobody's going to tell you. But what I thought was, these people somehow think that somehow their children are exempt. That if you live in the suburbs, your kids are exempt. But this kid was in a gated community, going to his dad's house. Your child isn't exempt. And, you know, if you have a black child, a half black child, they're not exempt. As a black woman, you're not exempt. I know I'm not. Now, I talked not too long ago about some of the issues I have calling white women and their passive aggressiveness, and, you know, and all this stuff. And I'm going to say it again. Imagine using this, something like in a stand your ground state, something like using stand your ground with a double victim strategy that white women use. Because, you know, they pack guns too. I mean, they shoot too. You know, it was white women on that jury that let Zimmerman go, because, you know, they're not really about you, you know, or your children. They're just not. You know, what they told everybody there was, it's okay, you know. I mean, of course they couldn't relate. It's not their kids. They don't have to worry about their kids being shot by, you know, some overzealous stranger. So it's not, you know, it's not their kids. So imagine them using that with black women with a double victim strategy. And I thought about that and I thought, good God. You know, because it don't matter. All this, you could act right. You could be right. You could do all the right things. I'm telling you. I'm telling you now. You could do all the right things. You could act right, be right, talk correctly, do everything right, and still have someone perceive you as a threat because of your black skin. You could be dressed to the nines and still be perceived as a threat. I mean, boy, I must say, people sure do have short memories and don't learn nothing. Don't you just remember what just happened to the First Lady of the United States? And how she was thrown right back into Negro Road because someone decided to use their white privilege? I don't care about Zimmerman being half Hispanic. That night, he was white. And people need to understand that folks who can pass, minorities who can pass, many times will, to align themselves with white people. People are saying, well, you know, he couldn't be racist. What is that? That don't mean nothing. If you want to align yourself with white people, listen, his name wasn't Jorge Gonzalez, okay? It was George Zimmerman. And he aligned himself with white people, and I'm sure that night he was white. And I'm kind of sick of folks who can put on and take off their oppression at their leisure when they need to use it. I'm sick of that. It's making me sick. And black women, you need to understand that you're at risk. This sets precedent for you, dummy. This sets precedent for you. And listen, nobody's coming to protect you. Okay? Black men, white women, no. Even white men, except the one you may be married to. Girl, the rest of them don't care. Black women, listen, you know, I don't even know between them who I can trust. And that's why I don't align myself with people like that, just on some basis on the outside. You got to prove yourself trustworthy. I trust very few people. But the people I trust have proven themselves trustworthy. The rest of y'all, I don't know y'all. Y'all don't know me. I can't expect for people to be down for me. You don't know me. And it seems, you know, if I say something that people don't like, or if I do something people don't like just slightly, then all of a sudden feelings change real quick. Listen, y'all with the up and down sometimey stuff, yeah, I don't mess with y'all. I'm not about that. All somebody needed was a point to let somebody's mama grieve. But instead, some folks decided to jump on a soapbox and go to the next level. You couldn't wait. It's like rubbing salt in the wound. You can't wait. And really, to me, you're no better than any George Zimmerman. You're no better than any other racist. Because the least you could have did is had some human compassion. Especially if you got kids yourself. Wow. Really? That somebody lost their child. And the person who did it is now walking free with a gun. And trying to ask black people to apologize to him. Please, I hope that's not true. But Lord, Jesus help me. It probably is. And that if you live in a stand your ground state, your child, full black, half black, is now at risk because nobody's finna stop and try to figure out whether or not they're half white. They don't care. And I'm not talking about from neighbors. I'm talking about from cops. Because really, when it comes to stuff with black people and other folks, black people are always instigators, whether we instigating or not. Even if somebody says something offensive to us and we try to defend ourselves, in the end, we're always seen as instigators. And I'm telling you this in a way because it's happened to me. Once again, I don't talk about stuff that doesn't happen to me. It's happened to me. I'm defending myself, but then I'm accused of being the instigator. When I'm defending myself from somebody else's crap that happens to be white. And it happened to me recently. As recent as last year, it happened to me. Where I'm defending myself, but I'm accused of being the instigator. So it happens. And I wasn't trying to make no statement about black men or what black men doing or whatever. I care less. Could care less. Could care less. What I feel like is a legal system has let somebody's family down, which it does all the time. But really, to tell you the truth, this is the best you got. This is the best. This is what you got. This is it. You just have to figure out how to work with it. Because the weird thing about the law is, although laws weren't made to protect poor people and black people and, minorities, they weren't. Listen, these laws were made back in the time when the voting public was white men with property. Okay, so trust and believe, any criminal law made was made for them. So it's not for you. That don't mean you can't use it to your advantage. I feel bad for his parents. I feel bad. I feel bad. Because I got self-compassion. I can feel compassion towards what's happening to them. I'm not letting every terrible person off and saying every terrible person should have got away with what they got away with. That's stupid. I mean, it's as if people accusing you that you can't hold two thoughts, two separate divergent thoughts or something. Listen, just because you stupid don't mean I'm stupid too. Okay? I can hold two thoughts. If you can't, that's your problem. You know? But this one individual situation, yeah, this is bad. This is bad. And yeah, it happens to men and it happens to women. Because the poor woman in Florida right now that's sitting in jail for 20 years because she shot a gun over her abusive ex-husband's head just to warn him and tried to use stand your ground and they wouldn't let her use it. Yeah. Black women, this all applies to you too. I don't know what you think you got some exemption or you coming with your little righteous indignation or you think you finna do something and say something and all that stuff. Yeah, fool, it applies to you. And I'm no idiot. I'm no fool. I know how this country works. I've been here long enough. Ain't no post-racial nothing. It's been working like this. And what scares me more than anything is I'm trying to have a child, and my life could possibly be in danger. My child's life could possibly be in danger because I'm black. That's what makes me scared. I got beautiful nieces and nephews, good kids, just being kids, good kids, young folks. Niece just got married, young woman with a young husband. But Lord have mercy, don't let them walk too fast or do nothing wrong or look sideways. And that's the part that makes me nervous. And that's the part that makes me mad about what happened in Florida. Because this sets precedent. So you understand you somewhere using stand your ground. This sets precedent. It's scary. And I just wanted to really say this because, like I said, I could have a child. I don't really understand folks who got kids that was all on the soapbox. I don't understand that. Something is completely wrong with you. You are completely bonkers crazy. Because your children are at risk also. And I'm I'm saying this because I was highly disturbed that something that's supposed to call itself empowering women, empowering black women, or folks who call themselves empowering black women, would so glibly not care and not consider showing a black woman any compassion. That that's yeah, you know. But like I say, I never claimed none of that, so and I'm glad I did, because you know, that's not okay. That's not okay, and I wouldn't want to, I would never associate myself with something like that. But that's my thing, and because I think on my own and I think for myself, and I don't let people think for me. And I'll let people make decisions for me. And I don't care whether or not people agree with me. And I don't need your pat on the back, nor do I need your approval. I can say what I want to say to who I want to say it. If you're offended by this, you think I'm talking to you, good. I probably am. You are free to leave. Bye bye. You don't ever have to talk to me again. I won't lose no sleep. You can go on whatever lunacy and craziness you got going. Good luck with that. But I'm going to think clear, and I'm going to think with some common sense, and I will keep using it, and I will keep doing what I feel is the right thing for black women. Trust and believe. I've never known hate to be a way to empower people. But if folks want to try that, go right ahead. Um, you know, that's all I'm saying. So, since I'm not a fool, I'm going to live in the real world, and I'm going to deal with it just as it is. And I suggest you have a talk if you have black children or have black children. You have a talk with your children about what went on there and what it means. Because trust and believe, nobody's forgotten. Nobody's thinking of your children as biracial or whatever you want to call them. The world sees them, the majority of the world sees them on the black and the white side as black. And that means something when you come into, when you come into the justice system, when you come into doing stuff, it means something. It means something. It's not meaningless. Not in this country. And you need to be ready and prepared to discuss that with them. They're your children. Don't send them out there unprepared. And for you that are living in La La Land, y'all go right ahead. But anyway, I'll see everybody later. And, for you that know what I'm talking about and understand what it is that I'm saying, I, I'm wishing you all, good luck in whatever it is that you do. I hope people can try to figure out how to move on, make sense of what happened, and maybe help in some reform and some of this craziness that we've got going on in this country, because it's gotten real crazy here lately. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.